As we studied their way of life and how they thought, one of the things that stood out was the constant fear and deception the people lived in.
No, you're right. They do live in constant fear. Okay, well, if she let on, she knew that it was her husband, that he was the one who was wearing the mask, then she would be strangled. Yes. Yeah. That phrase is predominantly used to tribal people. But that phrase, it's their culture. That particular phrase, it's their culture. It can be used to whitewash all sorts of social injustices. And he was just, he was astounded. And then there was this young tribal man just standing there. And he said ever so eloquently, he said, if those people really believe that we're happy living like that, why don't they come over and live like us? And the thing is this, the Bible is transcultural. You don't need to teach against a culture. The Bible tells us that the truth sets men free. You teach the truth, and if there's any error, the truth will expose it.
Then we told them, this is why God has given His written word to mankind, and it never changes.
Well, as the Bible was taught, the men, they became all shook up, and they said, man, wow, if these women find out that we've been lying to them all along about this mask, they're going to kill us. But if we're not honest, then God's going to judge us for being liars.
They said, we are just like those people in Sodom and Gomorrah.
The beauty of the chronological teaching system is this. You don't have to argue a person into believing the Bible.
As we studied the life of Christ, they fell in love with Him, and Jesus became the Moke hero.
If they listen, they'll understand it. And in understanding it, they'll either intelligently accept the Bible's message or they'll reject it. It's their choice.
I lived in fear, trying to please the spirits, for I knew no other way to be free from sin. But God in His grace has sent you to us. I've heard it, and believe the death and blood of Christ is payment for my sin. I believe it, and God has forgiven me.
Yeah, okay. My experience in teaching it predominantly to North Americans is this. Once they've been taught the Bible chronologically, they will say, man, the Bible makes so much sense, I wonder how I ever misunderstood it. Now, that does not mean they're going to accept it.
Village leader stating that he too believes Christ has paid for his sins.
True salvation in a biblical sense is not based on some emotional experience. It's based on fact and a clear understanding of those facts. It is only then that faith can be accurately placed. Now, chronological teaching gives the facts clearly because what you're learning is built on previously understood knowledge.
Village grandma rejoicing that he believes, so does she.
The results, it can be a simple acknowledgement of faith, or it can be very dramatic. Might I suggest that God allows our culture to influence our outward demonstration of an inward event? The event of placing one's faith in the finished work of the Lord Jesus Christ. And you know, it's a wonderful thing when people say, yeah, now we understand. Now we see clearly.